Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hannegriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hannegriff.
Yo, and welcome in to Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Honda. No Hanny, we have a Hunt. Hoot Palmero, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, we'll ask about that here after we go ahead and let our audience know. Of course, Kate and Paul on the ones and twos, keeping us on air. Happy Monday to everyone out there. Of course, our Monday lunch hour brought to you by Canatella Grocery right there on Government Street. And by the way, good enough. Sorry if you don't have any, but they brought us lunch today. So looking forward to that. $5 muffalata Monday. You get that muffalata and you get pasta as well. So Hunt,
Yes.
your answer was not great.
Well, the basketball team is not playing very well.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Ain't no question about that. We will get to that. We've got Billy Embody at 12:30 to talk about hoops and also football recruiting. We've got Will Guillory at 1:30 to talk about the other bad basketball team in the state of Louisiana, the New Orleans Pelicans. And we've got Jim Hawthorne
Excellent
set to
work.
join us at 2 o'clock.
Voice of my childhood.
Excited to catch up with him as well. So we've got a lot to get to. We'll get to LSU basketball here coming up, but I think we will start where everybody wants to start today. That's talking about what happened on the gridiron yesterday. Chiefs take care of business 38-24. The Buccaneers take care of the Packers 31-26. Let's start with the Tampa Bay game because there's a lot of intriguing things that came into this game. Of course, give credit where credit is due. And we were talking before he came on the show. If there was ever a doubt who the GOAT was, it's now put to rest. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady just took a non-playoff team to the Super Bowl. They're playing in their home stadium. First time that's ever been done as well. The team that he left didn't make the postseason. The team he went to, which had pieces, I'm not oblivious to that, had pieces, but he took them to the next level. They are now in the Super Bowl. And I know here in South Louisiana, we typically don't want to talk about the success of another NFC South team, but it's remarkable what he's been able to do throughout his career. This is just another addition to his resume.
If you turned the game on at halftime yesterday and you watched the end of it, you'd say, well, Brady's terrible. I mean, he missed Evans over the middle in the tip interception. Then he just launched one up in the air for a bad pick. But he played well early, threw the 3 touchdown passes, and obviously he's in control of that team. They were able to run it a little bit, and their defense was great in the fourth quarter, not allowing Rodgers to get rolling and score points. Just questionable decision-making by a lot of people. A lot of people making poor decisions. God. But in the end, it is Tom Brady headed back to the Super Bowl once again, and I don't think anybody's going to pick him to win, but they're there.
When you have the football, let's go ahead. Let's cut it out. Let's just get to it. When you have the football, and you're down 31-23, and you know that if I kick this field goal, it's still going to be a touchdown game. I still got to score a touchdown to win this game. And if I kick this field goal, I'm giving the ball back to the greatest to ever do it. To ever do it. And I realize the timeout situation doesn't matter. I know who I'm giving this football back to. And also, I know who I have from the 8-yard line. I've got the guy that's in the conversation of maybe being one of the greatest of all time. It's 4th and goal from the 8. I've only got 2 and some change left. The last person I'm giving the ball back to is Tom Brady. Try to score because you know what? Kicking that field goal meant nothing. It meant nothing because now it's a 31-26 game. You don't get 5 points for another field goal. You got to go score a touchdown anyways. And the 2-point conversion, I understand that part of it, but it's still easier to score, 2-point conversion, then, and even if you miss a 2-point conversion, then it's still a field goal game, right? Then you have to kick a field goal to win the game. So that to me was
It was
shocking.
the wrong thing to do. It was the wrong thing to do. I don't care if there's a metric out there that says that it's the right. It's just not. But with your quarterback, who's one of the best who's ever played the position, to get a touchdown on an 8-yard play, you have to take that and try to tie the game right there. You cannot. You're asking for everything to go perfectly on if you kick this field goal, as opposed to just taking one shot at it. The odds of you stopping Tom Brady and going 3 and out on the next drive are just not good.
with Leonard Fournette, who was feeling himself.
That was a terrible decision. And then I screamed I don't even care who wins the game. I screamed at my couch when the kick returner for the Buccaneers slid. Here's why. Because the Packers had 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but it were 2 minutes and 5 seconds left when they kicked off. You have got to run those 5 seconds off and get the change of possession and the 2-minute warning to be 1 stoppage of play.
Right.
And he slid at 2 minutes and 2 seconds to allow the first play to go into the 2-minute warning. How someone did not coach this guy, hey, we got to make them burn as many timeouts. That was maddening to watch that. You got to know the situation better than that.
I'm with you there. That was bad, but still, at the end of the day, with Tom Brady and with the way Leonard was running, you felt good about Tampa Bay converting there, and of course they do. That's the game, and they had so many opportunities in that game. If you're talking about the Green Bay Packers, because of the things you talked about with Tom Brady, right? The overthrows and the one where he just launched it up in the air, and you only score once off those 3 turnovers. You had your opportunities, but we're going to talk about the opportunity at the end of the game because that's the game. Like what played out before that got you to that point. And when you have one of the greatest arm talents to ever play a football field, right, 8 yards away, and you don't feel confident in his ability to go out there and score, and you're counting on 76 things to happen. We saw Chad Henne close out a game against the Browns, right? That was Chad Henne. Well, you know Tom Brady was going to do it.
And you're saying you're counting on these things. You're also counting on these things not to happen. You can't get a pass interference, game's over, which is what happened. You can't get a defensive holding, game's over. You can't accidentally touch a face mask in a scrum, game's over. Everything has to go perfect, and it's just not going to happen. Their defense had played well in the second half. They had forced some turnovers. They had done a pretty good job, but you got the game on your racket there. You got to take a swing at it. That's just inexcusable.
So since 1992, the Green Bay Packers have had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. They've been set up for almost 30 years. Is that the last time we see A-Rod in a Packers uniform?
You know, he's a tough guy to deal with, and I can see him taking things personally. And the way things went between drafting Jordan Love, taking the ball out of his hands late, I can see him getting irritated and bolting. I can see it. I think it would be foolish. I think he's got a good situation there, a talent around him. They've got a good team. They've had a really good team 2 years in a row now. Ride that thing out, but it wouldn't shock me.
LaFleur, look, this isn't like he's done a great job in 2 years. He's been back-to-back NFC Championship games his first time as a head coach. They've been a great regular season team. They've gotten to the NFC Championship game. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, you did what you did in the draft, and some people might disagree with this, but I'm just telling you, being a former player, like every player, any good one, bets on himself and wants to prove that he's the best. Like there's a reason. Okay, so you draft Jordan Love, who doesn't dress in any game. That's not saying that Jordan Love's going to be this, that, or the other, but the fact is he didn't help you whatsoever this year, okay? You draft him, and then the decision to kick a field goal. Like I'm taking that personally. I am Aaron bleeping Rodgers, and you sent out the kicker there in that situation. So the relationship we've already heard has had some rocky moments in more than once. I mean, this has come up 2 or 3 times. Okay, there's going to be so many different quarterbacks going in so many different places this year already. You have a guy in Jordan Love. Now, again, he didn't dress this year. He wasn't even your 2. So what's your, how do you feel about him taking over as the starter? But I can very, very easily see a situation where Aaron Rodgers is playing for someone else.
Sure can. And a reasonable point brought up in the chat. Now I can't find it, but I know what the point was. I was going to give credit for it, but I can't find it. There it is, Brent Semino. So if Rodgers should have run on 3rd down. The field opened up, and he didn't. He should have run, and he tried to force it in there at the goal line, and it got knocked away. But he probably wouldn't have scored, but he would have gotten real close. Right. And at that point, they probably would go for it if it's at the 3 or so. But that should have happened, but it didn't. But still, the decision was inexcusable. And I'm with you. I mean, look, if we can see Tom Brady in a Bucs uniform, you can see Rodgers put on a new load of laundry too. We'll see.
All right, let's go to the AFC game where Kansas City takes care of the Buffalo Bills 38-24. Buffalo got out to a 9-0 lead, but the comeback is always inevitable with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've done it so many times, postseason last year, postseason this year. You can get out to a lead. They don't panic. They play their game, and their game can keep up with anybody. Their offensive game is so dynamic and has so many playmakers, you cannot stop it. Hardman, who fumbled, they give him a rush. He goes 50 yards. Darrell Williams has 52 yards on the ground and a score. Tyreek Hill has 172. Travis Kelce has 118. Clyde had a rushing touchdown. There's so many different guys on that offense. They don't care if you get out to a lead. They don't panic. They don't change their game plan, which I can appreciate. I've been in plenty NFL games. We'd get down 14, and it'd be 11 personnel, third down offense, rest of the game till we catch up. They don't do that. They run their offense because they know that their Jimmies and Joes are better than yours. And they have the ability to do that. That's why it doesn't matter that you get out to a huge lead, because we're just going to run our offense. We're going to let it play its course. We're not going to play outside of ourselves. We're just going to go about our business, right? We're going to stay on our script. Nobody else in football does that.
It's a brilliant offense. It's one of the best ones we've ever seen. I wouldn't hesitate at all to put it in with the greatest show on turf with the Rams, any of the Cowboys offenses, with the triplets. I mean, any of the Saints offenses. It's that good for an extended period of time now. And, I mean, the Bills' defense is good. And Mahomes' numbers are outstanding. He's 29 of 38 for 325, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Darrell Williams runs it for 4 yards a carry. Hardman hits a 50-yarder. I don't watch a ton of Chiefs football, but I watched yesterday. And I knew Tyreek Hill was probably the fastest guy in the league. But when you watch him on the field running away from these NFL guys, that play he made when he got up into the right sideline and cut it back.
Tre'Davious?
He's just insanely fast.
Tre'Davious White is a legit 4'4", rolling out of bed guy. And he looked like a different speed. I mean,
the 71-yarder
is like
it was
a
just
different
ridiculous.
speed than everybody else on the field outside of maybe his teammate Hardman there.
And Kelce is just
–
he's wide open every time.
To me, Kelce's the mismatch. He's the guy.
He's
the
open
reason
every
that this
time.
offense is what it is.
How does he get open every time?
Because you have to worry about the other things that we've talked about leading into this point. And they do a fantastic job of moving him around. And credit Travis Kelce. He's good enough on the line of scrimmage to be able to create a mismatch, right? So many tight ends, looking at you like a Jimmy Graham, okay? Jimmy Graham was dynamic at one thing. He could line up, he could run a route, he could high point the ball. He put his hand in the dirt. Any defensive end in the league's licking his chops. Okay, Jimmy's going to block me? Okay, cool. Travis Kelce is a good enough blocker where they have to respect that. So if he's lined up in a three-point stance on the line of scrimmage, he can do both. It's not window dressing. There's some tight ends that's window dressing. Look, I love Antonio Gates more than almost anybody I played with. And Gates will tell you, it's not the best thing that I do is putting my hand in the dirt and blocking, Tamba Ali there on the edge. That's just not me, okay? But Travis Kelce's really good at both those things. So that's why, in my opinion, you see him open so many times, because they can be creative in what he does. He can be on the move. He can line up on the line of scrimmage. He can go to the slot. He can line up out wide. He can line up anywhere and be a threat.
And for me, I feel so good for Andy Reid because they were so good in Philly for so long. It just didn't get over the hump, and they ended up moving on from him. Obviously, I guess you can say it worked out for both involved because the Eagles did go win a Super Bowl. But for him to get that second shot, he's one of the best coaches in the league, and he's got a brilliant offense.
All right, we're long for a break. We will go ahead and take that now. When we come back, sorry, Hunt, we're talking LSU hoops, went up to Lexington. It did not go the Tigers' way. We'll cover it from every angle when we come back here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
We are brought to you by Patient Plus Urgent Care. 6 locations across the Baton Rouge area for your convenience, and they're all about being convenient. Open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. They're open 7 days a week, right? We mentioned they do have locations throughout the Baton Rouge area. Walk-ins, you are welcome, right? So if you've got something and you need to walk in, maybe you don't have time to go online at patientplusuc.com. Maybe you're just walking in because something just happened, right? Well, that's convenient. They can take care of you. And don't forget, I mentioned it just then, patientplusuc.com. You can set that appointment right there on the website as well. They accept most major insurance, so that is another reason they can be convenient. These are Baton Rouge people. This business was raised in Baton Rouge, so they care about the Baton Rouge people as well. Hey, don't forget, man, they can do stuff that not every single urgent care can do. X-rays, IV hydration, EKGs, you name it, they can do it. PatientPlusUC.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here's a great way to start the new year, saving lots of money, because Richards Honda has 0% financing. 0% on some of your favorite Honda models. And with Richards Honda transparent pricing, there are no add-ons or hidden fees. When we give you a price, that's the price you pay. Transparent pricing and 0% financing? Must be why smart customers love Richards Honda. Interstate 12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Kentucky, and hoops, and the latest on the LSU defensive coordinator search. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Benny's Car Wash is giving you a chance to win free car payments for a year. Visit the contest page at 1045ESPN.com today to enter. You'll also have a chance to win a 6-month unlimited Wash Club membership from Benny's and more. Register now at 1045ESPN.com.
All right, welcome back in, Hunt. This is probably the part that you wanted to avoid today, but just like the Chiefs' offense is inevitable, this discussion is as well. LSU falls to Kentucky 82-69, not able to get it done there in Lexington. This was a game where we knew Kentucky had been struggling. We knew that LSU had some advantages as far as scoring the basketball. Kentucky had been struggling really from everywhere on the court, not just beyond the arc. Their size, we thought, could pose a challenge for LSU, and it turned out that maybe was the biggest factor.
Well, there were a lot of factors. There's a lot of layers to it. I think most people would like to just go, oh, well, Wade can't coach defense. We suck on defense, and they're not any good. And that would be a nice blanket to throw over the top of it. But I'm thinking it's a little more nuanced than that. Obviously, I thought that on defense, one plan they had was good and didn't work, and one plan they had was bad and didn't work. So I didn't like the three-quarter court pressure. Yeah. It allows the court to get very spaced, and it allows Kentucky to operate in space and create some easy baskets. I'd like to shrink the court and pack everything in and make them shoot over the top of it. So creating some easy opportunities, some lobs, that kind of stuff I didn't love. What I did like and thought it made sense was when Kentucky threw the ball down into the post, LSU doubled. We talked about that on Friday. They brought double team almost every time, and Kentucky kicked it out and made some shots. And that's the breaks. That's what you wanted them to do, is shoot from three. And they made 6 in the first half, and they hadn't made more than 6 in their last 4 games, and they did it in the first half. It wasn't like they shot an incredible percentage. They were 6 of 17 for 35%, but they made more than they had. And I knew there was a chance for Brandon Boston to get going a little bit. He's a top 5 player in the country, expected lottery pick. He's been terrible all year, of course. And he showed up and made some really nice plays. And then LSU on the other side of the floor just shot it terribly. I mean, it's a make or miss sport. It's as cliche as it gets, but it's true. And they got good looks, and they just didn't make them. They were 4 of 23 from three-point range, and this is a good three-point shooting team. There's a lot of guys on this team that have really good numbers shooting the three, and they didn't make anything. And they trimmed it down to 7 there in the second half, but couldn't get enough stops and couldn't make threes. And Kentucky regressed to the mean, because in the second half, you look at the second half box by itself, Kentucky was 1 of 9 from 3.
Right.
But they had built such a big lead. You let them score 49 points in the first half, you weren't able to catch up.
Slow start yet again for LSU, a different way than the last slow start against Alabama. And it's become a trend over the last couple of games. And this team, if you're not shooting well, you're trying to play from behind, it's just not a recipe for success. And when LSU doesn't shoot the ball well, it's, okay, what else can you do? Like, what's that next thing that you can go to if you're not shooting well? They just continue to shoot it in this one. They try to make it go. It's because that's what the score dictated. So the slow start more than anything is what is troublesome for LSU, because they didn't have the luxury to be able to go to another plan. They had to keep shooting the threes, and they just weren't going down.
Yeah, Javonte and Cam combined to go 2 of 15 from 3.
Great.
I mean, that's just not going to work. They were combined from the floor. They were 8 of 31. Those are the two guys with the ball in their hand the most, who get the most shots up, who do a lot of your scoring, and they had a very bad game. And obviously Cam's now in a pretty deep funk. I mean, there's no two ways about it. He just can't. He's not making shots at all. 1 of 8 from 3 in this one. He's shooting a lot still, and he's not scoring. So he'll come out of it. It's inevitable. He's just a really good player, and he's going through a bad 3 weeks here. But it's unfortunate to watch, because he's trying to shoot himself out of it, and it's not happening.
So, Hunt, when I watched the game, and I've seen the last couple of games, and I've seen the last couple of times out, okay? And I'm saying, let's go back to the Florida game. You go to Florida, and you lose 83-79. Now, Florida 5-3 in conference, 8-4 overall. Okay, that's a team that has always kind of been a matchup problem for you over the last couple of seasons. And then you squeak by a Georgia team that is 2-5 in conference, 9-5 overall. You take care of Ole Miss, and you go on the road, and that's a game you thought you were going to Mizzou. The plane hooked a right, and you went to Ole Miss, and you got a good win there, 75-61. And then you come out against Arkansas. You're on fire. They come back late, but you have put such a distance between you and them. In the first half, you get a win there. That's a great win. But the last 2 times out, you lose 105-75, 82-69. And so this team has lost in a big way to some of the top teams in the conference. Against the teams in the middle of the conference, they've done okay. Teams near the bottom of the conference, they've kind of struggled. South Carolina game, we could point to that one as well, right? 85-80. They've struggled a little bit. Where is this team? Who is this team? Are our expectations of this team clouding our judgment of this team?
Well, I think it's easy to look at the team and go, all right, well, we know Javonte Smart's a good SEC basketball player. He's been on this team for 3 years. He's made huge contributions. He's had huge games. His numbers are good. He's a good player. Trendon Watford is a really good scoring big man at 6'9", who's going to be an NBA player and a good draft pick. Cam Thomas is going to be a draft pick after this year. Darius Days is a third-year player who we've seen make big shots, dominate the offensive glass. I mean, there are pieces on this team that are good. Their resume to this point is pathetic. Anytime you've stepped up in weight class, you've gotten beat. And the defense has been an issue. And right now, I think this team, as I said on the podcast this morning, is a coin flip to make the tournament.
Which would be a gigantic disappointment.
It would be, because you've got some pieces. It's right now the resume stinks. There's no other way to put it. You've got no good wins. You've avoided the disastrous losses, but you've got no good wins.
Yeah.
And so you've got some opportunities here coming up, but they're going to be difficult. Texas Tech's going to be tough to beat. You're not going to Tuscaloosa and winning. Florida's going to be difficult to beat. At Mississippi State is no picnic. Then you got Tennessee at home, who's very good. Then you got Auburn, who can score. Then you got to go to Georgia, who you squeaked by. Go to Arkansas. And Vanderbilt you close with who you should beat. But you've got more opportunities, but that also means the schedule is going to be difficult. It's a 50-50 proposition.
What's the conference record need to be?
That's a good question. I think they're playing 18 games. I think you've got to be 10-8.
Yeah.
I think 9-9 with no, very limited if any good wins is going to be pushing it. We'll see. It's a different year because of everybody's schedule is so different.
Yeah, and you've got multiple conferences that aren't the Power 5 conferences that are playing back-to-back games against the same opponent.
You're going to have so many more opportunities for quad one wins and strength of schedule bumps and all that kind of stuff than the mid-majors who just weren't allowed to play their December normal games against the major conference teams that they usually play. So I think that hurts them. Is what I think. That I may be proven wrong. We don't know because we've never done this before. But I think the Power 5 teams that are playing quad 1 teams and quad 2 teams far more often have a better chance to build a resume.
Let me ask you this before we go to break. Can they fix this? And not like, yeah, sure, anybody can fix anything. Like, are they going to fix what their issues are right now? Because you laid out the talent. Everyone listening to this show knows the talent that they have. I mean, there's not anyone in that starting lineup that you really feel bad about. I mean, they've done something, to your point, in college basketball. You've seen it. Like, there's proof there.
I think I would bet on them to make the tournament. I think Cam's going to play better. I think they're going to continue to work on defense. It's never going to be a good defense, but it can be better than it is right now. And they've got to try to win games 85-78. I mean, they're not totally done. They're going to win some games. It's like I say all the time. If we win and look good, I get how far can this team go in the tournament? When we lose, is Wade just a terrible coach? And it changes by the day based on results. And right now you're in a week-long losing streak, so the attitude's not good.
Yeah, and the losing streak is one thing, okay? It's the way that the losing streak has come about, and it's also what the future looks like on your schedule. That there's reason for doubt.
You better go to College Station and win. I don't want to use the phrase must win because I think that's kind of a stupid thing to say. Of course, it's not must win. You could lose this one and win all the rest of them, and you'd be just fine. So it's not a must win. Technically. But you need to go win at College Station.
All right, we'll take a break. Remember, every single Monday, our lunch hour is brought to you by Canatella Grocery. You can find them on Government Street. Remember, plenty of parking available. I tell you because I know. I brought my 12-passenger van over there on Government Street, was able to park that thing, and it is Muffalata Monday, $5. $5, and you get a side of pasta and a muffalata, and you can eat it in. You can carry it out. I mean, they were good enough to bring us lunch, and it says Hanny's name on here, Hanny, but if you're not here, you don't get the muffalata. Sorry on that. It is the best deal in town. We've had some people reach out to us over the last couple of days. They've tried it. They love it. You will as well. You can stop by right now. They close at 6 p.m., but those muffalatas will be there until then, so please stop by Canatella Grocery there on Government Street. All right, we'll take a break. Billy Embody of 247 Sports when we come back here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Join us for a Monday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott, live from Ivar Sports Bar. We recap championship weekend in the NFL and look ahead to the matchup in the Super Bowl. Come see us or tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Remember to stop by Ken and Taylor Grocery on Government Street to pick up your $5 muffalata deal they've got going on until 6 p.m. Go ahead and stop by. You can eat in or you can carry out. All right, now we're going to welcome Billy Embody, 247 Sports, on the show. Billy, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, guys. How about you?
Doing well. Glad to have you on as always. And I want to start with hoops, and of course we'll get to football with Billy, but I do want to start talking some LSU hoops. You covered all of these players when they decided to come to LSU. We know how talented of a group this group is. Now, it hasn't been all bad. 10-4 on the year, looking for that big signature win, but the last couple times out against the best opponents they've played, they've really struggled. How surprised are you right now that LSU hasn't taken maybe that next step?
Well, I think the weird thing about that is that the offense is really dried up in a way against these best opponents. And look, we know Will Wade's teams have never been accused of playing terrific defense or things like that, but with the offense going dry, that's probably the most surprising thing. And it kind of came at the time where Cam Thomas tweaked his ankle, and I don't think he's 100% yet, but look, LSU hasn't lost back-to-back games under Will Wade since I think his first season. So this is surprising. It's a surprising stretch. It's I think with the talent they have, it'll come around eventually, especially as Cam gets healthy. I think you're kind of seeing some hesitation from him in terms of driving to the rim a little bit, probably because of that ankle. So he's got to get that right. But this is a team that's got a lot of firepower offensively. They've got to find a way to simplify, get out of this funk, and get it back on track, because offense is how Will Wade's teams have won at LSU. They've been among the best offensive teams in the country each year. They've got enough talent offensively, especially, to do just that. So right now, it's kind of a combination of a bunch of things that are hitting all at the wrong time, and it's concerning. But I think with the SEC schedule they have, they'll be able to turn it around. And luckily for them, A&M comes up next on their schedule.
Again, Billy, knowing these guys as well as you do, covering them, coming to LSU as high school recruits, which guy do they need to step up the most? Is it as easy to say, if Cam's a scorer, if he steps up, if he gets back to what we know him to be, that's enough to turn this team around? Is he a guy that can take over a team even though he is a freshman, or is it somebody else?
Yeah, I think Cam Thomas has to be the best player. I mean, he's been the best player really at every level that he's played on, and certainly had that type of a start at LSU. So it starts with him, and I think he will figure it out. He is a freshman, but he's had some NBA aspirations for a while now, and I think he'll be able to carry that through, freshman or not. But the one player I've got circled is Darius Days. You look at his last two games; they've been not up to standard by any means. And I know Darius Days has kind of had an up and down career at times. He's been tremendous and offensively gifted and rebounding and staying out of foul trouble one game, and then you see a stretch here or there where he's in foul trouble and he's not out there to stretch the core, and he's not courting, he's not hitting threes. And so I think Days is a key, because with him out on the wing, if they can get him out there and spread the floor, and Will Wade kind of mentioned this after the Kentucky game, is they just weren't able to spread the floor without Days out there. Kentucky was able to pack the paint and kind of stop LSU at the rim a lot because Days wasn't out there. And so he's kind of that third piece, I think, to really the triangle of guys that are offensively gifted, in Cam Thomas, Trendon Watford, and Darius Days. And Javonte Smart's a veteran player, but he can go off from time to time, but he's more of that facilitator, and he's got to be better as well. But Darius Days is the one that I think needs to step up.
Billy Embody of Go 247 joining us here, hanging with Hester and Hanny. All right, Billy, in a previous life, this would have been the absolute, frantic pace recruiting week right before what would be National Signing Day. Now things have changed a little bit, and if you look at LSU's class, I'm looking at 9 early enrollees who are already here, and I've got 11 signed letters of intent. That's 20. And then on y'all's side, I've got 2 commitments in Savion Jones and Kimo Macanioli. Where are we with the last remaining few spots in this class? Are they expected to be filled quickly? Do we have names?
I think the one thing to know right off the bat is LSU monitoring the transfer portal. I think they want to have a spot, maybe 2, but I would think for sure a spot in the transfer portal to bring in somebody at a position of need. So I would say you are kind of working with 2 spots unless things go kind of perfectly down the stretch here for some of their top targets. As far as the high school guys, I think Brian Thomas Jr. Out of Walker, Louisiana is the one to watch. He's top 100 overall prospect. It seems like LSU, A&M, Bama are the 3 to watch there. There's been some quiet confidence that LSU might be picking up steam, so we'll monitor him. He's kind of that big red zone type of threat that they could add to this really talented group of receivers that they've got in this class already, and he would kind of be just kind of a cherry on top to an already strong receiver class. So then you look at cornerback Dante Balfour. He's really been an up and coming prospect after his senior year. Auburn and North Carolina and LSU are the three that are in his final three before his announcement. And so those are two right off the bat that I think stand out to me the most. We'll kind of keep an eye on maybe something shakes out of the tree here for LSU and they're able to, pull a rabbit out of their hat and add somebody late. But Jordan Moko, the big offensive tackle from Australia, who's the top junior college offensive tackle, it seems like he's going to drag things out a little bit. He's still in Australia. He hasn't been able to take visits. So that's kind of an issue for him right now. But we'll kind of see maybe somebody's done a job where they're able to, convince him to go ahead and sign and just, kind of go with the flow in this weird year of recruiting.
Hey, Billy, last one for me. I know you have to go here in a bit. When you look at LSU in the future, and we start talking about classes down the road, and they've had a couple of decommitments over the last couple of weeks. That's not that crazy considering how far you are from signing day. But I want to know kind of what's the momentum right now for LSU, because we know what happened in 2019. We know what this class just was. They finished the season strongly. They're still looking for their defense coordinator. Something probably going to come there this week with that. But what's kind of the buzz in LSU? Did they gain back some momentum in recruiting with the way they finished the season?
I tend to think so. And I think, one, you look at Malik Neighbors, one of the top receivers in the country, jumping on board late. They still have Savion Jones committed, who's one of the top defensive linemen. Kimo Makianole, they flipped out of the state of Florida where he committed to Florida State. And now in 2022, you're starting to see some dominoes start to fall for them. They landed 3 elite corners to start off the year. LaTerrence Welch, right out of Acadiana High, Darian Rhyme out of Georgia, and then Marcus Scott out of the Houston area. And so they had a couple guys fall off from Kamari Rogers and Shone Washington, but, I think they've really started to get rolling in 2022. And I don't think, no disrespect to those guys, I think they have some really quality guys in Louisiana. They have some quality guys nationally at both, defensive back and defensive line that they're on really hard. And they have a chance to really clean up in Louisiana in 2022. You're starting to kind of see some momentum. The big offensive tackle out of Neville, Will Campbell, announces his college choice this weekend. That would be, if he jumped on board, that'd give you the top 2 prospects in Louisiana, and him and Walker Howard. So they've got a lot of momentum, and I think whoever they hire as defensive coordinator, I think it's going to be somebody that is an upgrade over Bo Pelini. We'll see who they fill out the staff with, and if all goes well, look, they should be improved in 2021. You would think, both defensively and potentially record-wise.
All right, he is Billy Embody. You can follow his work at go247.com. Billy, we always appreciate it, my man.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, Billy. I'm just curious, where the momentum was, because you won the title in 19. They were the coolest thing in town. Then they struggled to begin this season, but, the way they finished. And I think it's important, the way they finished, Hunt, with freshman players, true freshmen, Max Johnson, Butte, and all those players, Elias Ricks, going out there making plays. And if I'm a recruit, I'm like, okay, they're not only playing true freshmen, which a lot of people are doing now. It's not like 10 years ago when everyone redshirted, but they're putting their true freshmen in key roles to be able to go out there and be successful.
Yeah, that's all they had left, so they had to go do it.
There's some truth to that.
But they recruit really good players. There's no use in pinning guys on the bench for a couple of years. Now you're only going to have them for 3 years, so get them out there and let's go.
All right, we will take a break. More to come here. Don't forget, we still got Pelicans Talk with Will Guillory at 1:30.
I'm going to blow your mind in the next segment.
Cannot wait. We've got Jim Hawthorne set to join us at 2 o'clock as well. We'll be back. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, also brought to you by Garcia Roofing. Look, I could tell you this, that, or the other, and I could give you the website. I can give you the number, which we'll do, so you can contact them. But also, we can do more than that. We can give you a personal story of what they've done for me. Free roof inspections, okay? Well, what does that mean? Well, they come out and they tell you exactly what you need. I had another company come out, and they told me, hey, we're going to put new shingles on your home. You'll be fine. That's all you need. Okay. They came out and said, no, you've got major issues. You've got issues with your venting system, right? You are not properly vented in this house. You have insulation that's blocking your roof right now. So your roof basically is melting on top of itself. Doesn't sound good because it wasn't, okay? I needed much more than just new shingles, and they showed me that, and it was free to me. An itemized list with pictures. That was a free service to me. GarciaDidMyRoof.com, 225-756-3100 for more information.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Coming up on Tuesdays Off the Bench, Coach O stops by to give you the latest in the LSU defensive coordinator search, football school, and getting ready for second signing day. Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football, and a brand new OTB mailbag. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Remember, lunch hours on Monday brought to you by Canatella Grocery, right there on Government Street, 3869 Government Street to be exact. Stop by Muffalata Mondays, $5. Only $5. You can dine in or carry out, of course. All right, Hunt, you've got some stats, some numbers.
Yeah, I didn't look any of this up. I'm just be very frank. People started tweeting stuff yesterday, and I started seeing a lot of it, and I was like, I'm going to start writing these down so it's an aggregation of everything. Mike Greenberg said a few of them, ESPN Stats and Info, just wherever I can find stuff on Twitter. But it's fascinating stuff when you talk about the career of Tom Brady. So here we go. Tom Brady has made the Super Bowl in 10 of his 21 years. That is 47%. Steph Curry's three-point percentage is 43%. He is more likely to reach the Super Bowl than Steph is to make a jump shot from three-point range. He has won more playoff games since he turned 35 than any other quarterback has won in their entire career. For reference, Matt Ryan is 35. He's won more playoff games since then than any other quarterback in their career.
Wow.
In his 40s alone, he has won as many playoff games as the Bengals, Texans, Cardinals, Lions, and Jaguars. Just in his 40s. He's now tied Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees in NFC championships. He's won playoff games under 4 presidents.
That might be the
Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden.
Yeah.
The NFC South, the whole thing, has reached 7 Super Bowls. Tom's reached 10. When Brady when he won his first Super Bowl, Mahomes and Allen were in preschool. To actually go hand in hand with that, Tom Brady is 43 years old. Patrick Mahomes' dad is 50.
That's a good one.
He's the 4th quarterback to start for 2 different teams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When he does. He is more likely to reach the conference championship game statistically than LeBron is to make a free throw, than any major league pitcher is to throw a strike, or any professional golfer is to make a putt over 4 feet. And maybe the best one, he personally is worth $180 million.
Yeah.
His wife is worth $400 million.
He's not even the breadwinner by a long shot.
That's pretty good stuff.
My gosh. When you lay stats out like that, love him, hate him, whatever, remarkable. It'll never be done again.
It's truly amazing when you realize when the Saints lost last week and we started putting a bow on the Peyton Breeze era and how great it was. And to think that they got to 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you look at him doing it 10 times. It's just, now there are so many other factors that go into it than just him. But he's a big deal. And wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, and there's some truth in it, but also he leaves the Patriots, and they are at home for the postseason. Going to have a pretty high draft choice. He goes to the Buccaneers, who had pieces. A lot of teams have pieces in the NFL. He takes them to the next level, and he's fueled by all of this. That's what's amazing to me. He is still fueled to prove people wrong. He put out the video, him and Gronk, we ain't going nowhere. I mean, he has got so much juice still left in the tank. Now, he's not the player he once was. He's 43 years old. But I don't know how he finds that motivation to still act like he has a chip on his shoulder, because he does. Like, if anybody should have a chip lifted off their shoulder, it's the guy that gets to the Super Bowl more than Steph Curry makes a three-point shot. But he's still the same guy, and that is what makes him great. And other guys can fake it. Like, fake enthusiasm is a thing. Like, you'll even say it in the locker room. Like, you'll hit a 5-hour energy, do some push-ups, and you're trying to psych yourself out for a training camp practice. He has that happen organically. He's just wired a little different.
It's just like we saw in The Last Dance with Jordan. It's irrational at times, but it's just what's in them, and it makes them different. And to achieve the level of success that they have, and when you consider that Jordan, he went to 6 straight finals, if you cut out the 2 baseball years, and won 6 straight championships. And Tom's, in a sport that one guy can't dominate quite as much as basketball, has basically had that set level of success in a game that is 22 guys out there.
That's remarkable. Those are remarkable stats. And Brady, I mean, if there was any doubt of who the best to ever do it was, and doesn't mean he's your favorite. I mean, we've all got different favorites here in this room, but you have to appreciate
it. Was interesting. I was noticing on Twitter a little bit last night, a lot of New England Patriots fans pulling for the Bucs.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, trust me, I
That's
get
been
it.
your guy for 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, even more so than something. I mean, I still pull for the Cubs guys. I pull for Dexter Fowler. He's on the team I hate the most because he hit a leadoff homer off Corey Kluber in Game 7 and delivered a World Series. It's like, and Tom did this for 2 decades, not one little run. So, I get it.
All right, before we go to break here, Hunt thinks the cops will show up if he removes the tag from a mattress.
No. Is that a thing?
Yeah. You never seen Pee Wee Herman?
No,
Hunt listens to the Barney theme song every morning for inspiration.
No kids in my house. No Barney.
Well, that's the point. Hunt eats ribs with a fork.
No, I can do better than that. I love ribs.
Hunt likes day-old donuts over fresh beignets.
That's a terrible take. Who wants a day-old donut?
Hunt
Hard?
prefers the strawberry Nestle Quick.
No! My sister did. I was always chocolate, though.
Hunt likes red popsicles.
No.
Hunt
Maybe.
loses to himself in tic-tac-toe.
I'm great at tic-tac-toe. Elite tic-tac-toe player.
We found something he's good at, ladies and
Elite.
gents. Tic-tac-toe. All right, we'll be back. Hour number 2, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Meet football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that. Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hannagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hannagriff.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 of the show here with Hunt Palmer, filling in for the Haney man. I gotta get a check in with the old Haney man.
We do. You've got to have some takes by now. You used to take a week off, you get some takes.
So I
built
was
up.
just thinking that because, last week I did every show for the SEC channel on Sirius, and I was filling in for part-time Peter Burns, and he didn't come back until, I'm lying, I didn't do Friday because I sat in with T-Bob to help him out on Friday. But I was thinking, dude, you sit out 4 days of radio and all the Tennessee stuff had happened. So obviously on an SEC channel, they're going to dive way more into it than even we did, which we spent a lot of time on it. Like you come back, it's like, okay, where do I start? And it's hard in sports radio because the listeners have already processed the information. They've got their own takes. They've heard your take and they've kind of moved on. It's like, wait. I hadn't been able to get my 2 cents in yet. Like think of all the stuff that's happened since Haney has been here.
Yeah, basketball team stinks.
Saints lost. Out of the postseason. Still don't have a defensive coordinator yet.
Nope.
Let's see. Tennessee stuff. I'm sure he's got thoughts on that.
Yeah. You see the fake account that tweeted out that Kiffin was going to Knoxville today? I had a double take on it.
Did he get a lot of people? No, not you, but did he get some people?
Well, it was an actual, I don't know what the point of the tweet was, I guess, but it was an actual account. It was GoVols247, which has like a few thousand subscribers, but it's not real.
So it's a fake Go247 account.
I guess. But it had a lot of followers. I don't know.
I'm a little confused right now.
Yeah, it was weird. But the point being, that was a thought that came out there, which would have been funny.
Yeah, Tennessee is yet to name Tennessee is yet to name a head coach in a situation that is as bizarre as you will find. Kevin's still in place as the interim coach. By the way, he's out there hiring coaches. He's trying to make hires right now. Like, wait a minute. Timeout. You're trying to bring people in. He's trying to bring a defensive line coach in from Auburn. He's trying to make an analyst a full-time position.
Who would do that? Who would leave a job to go to that fake job?
And
That's a fake job.
Who would sign off on that? Like, what does he do?
There's a new athletic director now.
Yeah, if I'm Danny White, the new AD coming over from the former national championship Central Florida Knights, I would say, Kevin, pump the brakes, pal. You're not even the interim head coach because he's not. He's the acting head coach. So you're basically...
You get a shirt and a visor.
Maybe. You're not even in the head coaching office right now. Like, you're still down the hall in the cubicle because we hired you to be a defensive assistant. Like, you're not going out there and making hires. Like, regardless of what you think of Danny White, and we're not talking about the former Cowboys quarterback here. We're talking about the Central Florida AD. That was... Look, he was loud, let's say it that way, as far as the national championship stuff, but what did he do? Well, he brought attention to Central Florida. I actually liked the move there. Like, you tell Kevin still, hey, we got this, pal. Got this champ, pat him on the back, and then you go find your next head coach. And it's not as important because...
Well, I'm just thrilled for them that they got the order correct and got an athletic director in place to go get a football coach. You can't do the... If they did it the other way, it was not going to work.
So when I say the timeline's not as important because of the signing day situation, I'll also say this. You're spiraling right now.
Yeah.
You've lost 4 players to the portal, one being your best defensive player. You've lost a running back.
Starting left tackle.
Right now, you've lost starters. You hadn't lost, like, guys
Fringe
that were
guys.
upset that they weren't playing, and they took this as an opportunity to put themselves in the portal. Our coach left. I'm going to be, eligible wherever I go, although who knows what those rules are going to end up being. But still, you're losing commitments. You've got signees. That means you signed since your national letter of intent in. Those guys want out of that deal. So you've got to get somebody in place to stop the bleeding. You don't want to rush it, but they did do it the right way. They got the AD to make the move. They went and got someone that he was wanted. I mean, there's teams, there's a lot of Power 5 teams that would have made the move to. It was going to be a situation to get him out of Orlando because he had that thing rolling, right? They were pretty good on the court, good in football, all their athletic programs. It's a huge school already. So it's going to take I don't want to say unique. You'll get mad at me. But
Yes,
it's gonna
don't
take
do
you
that.
Unique, air quotes, can you maybe?
I mean.
Okay. To get him from Orlando, but they got him there. Now you do have to move somewhat quickly because of all that you're losing. And it was a bad roster to begin with. This isn't a roster that someone could come in and you could be competitive.
Well, yeah, right. You're leaving your football program's just, flapping in the wind at this point because you don't have anybody to lead it. People are leaving constantly. There isn't a staff. LSU can take their time on a defensive coordinator because everything's pretty stable around it. You've got the head coach in place. You've got early enrollees coming in. But you can't just wait for 6 months to hire one, but you have a couple of weeks. Tennessee's just, you're losing an entire class and your rosters is leaving. So you need to get somebody in place and make it work. Now, I didn't mean you rush somebody to the podium. You got to get the right guy, but time is of the essence, as they say.
Yeah, so we saw so much overturned last year, and you and I, we did a segment, I think it was actually right before the world stopped, about buying stock in SEC programs. I'd love to go back and check those rankings out. Maybe we can pull those up. And then last week we kind of did here's who's coming in. What do you think about it? I don't know if there's someone that can come into Tennessee that would make me feel good about the next 2 years at Tennessee.
No, there isn't.
I think this is we're rebuilding. We're changing back. We're going to get back to the brand that a lot of you knew because this isn't put a Band-Aid on it. This is we've got to have surgery and repair what's wrong.
No, it's a total rebuild, total restructure because it's just been an absolute disaster there.
So I'll ask you this. Take Tennessee out. Is there another SEC program that you think needs to have that? They need to say, okay, we've tried to put a Band-Aid on it. We have got to totally restructure what we're doing. We've got to hit reset because it's just not going to work in our current format.
Well, I mean, as of 40 days, 60 days ago, it was the one that's 70 miles south or however far Nashville is from Knoxville. It was Vanderbilt, but they put a coach in place and they're going to try. It's not going to work because it can't there, but
there's no expectation there.
Yeah.
So them putting a Band-Aid on it is what they do because it might be all they can do. So when I look at the SEC and I look at all the teams and where they're at, okay, Alabama, national champs. A&M finally did something. Auburn's trying. Auburn went different. So they're trying to stop it. They're trying to rebrand who they are. LSU title in 19. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin. They did it, right? They did something outside of the box. They now look different. Arkansas. Hell, Arkansas won games. Congratulations. You changed it, okay? You've done something. Mississippi State, maybe you could kind of be in there. Okay, look, we tried Leach. It's
not going to work.
It's not, okay.
It's not going to work.
So we'll put that in the maybe pile. South Carolina, I don't think it's going to work with Beamer. I think that's a program that really just needs to restructure who they are. They need to figure out their expectation level. But
get to bowl games.
But Kentucky got the guy. Missouri, you got a pretty Eli Drinkwitz, I think a lot of. Georgia, you're competitive. Florida, competitive, okay? So really, when you look at the SEC, it's healthy. It's pretty healthy. I think from top to bottom, it's as healthy as it's been in a long time. So that makes even what Tennessee's going through right now, if I'm a Vol fan, a Vol for life, as they say, even more troublesome.
It's the worst situation in the league relative to where it could be. I mean, Vanderbilt's in worse shape, but they can't be anything. So relative to what you can achieve, it's the worst situation in the league, and it's been that way for a while. So yeah, I'm pulling for them like crazy. I got my orange pants on because I need Alabama to at least have to attempt to win a game outside of their league, outside of their division. And right now, it's just a cakewalk. So I'm pulling for them, but I don't have a ton of confidence in them.
So I wonder what that's like, because LSU fans, and there might be some older out there that could correct me, like, this is the golden age of LSU football, right? Okay, so they had successful seasons in the past. They won national championships, obviously, in the 50s, and they've been to some Sugar Bowls. But like, there wasn't that huge drop-off of every single year you were there, and then all of a sudden, for 20 years, you just weren't. Right, so some of us don't have this experience. There's been more ebbs and flows than just a complete drop-off. Is there a drop-off that we can point to and say they got to the bottom and they rose back up? Could you say maybe USC? Because USC in the 90s, they were struggling. I remember one time Louisiana Tech went to the Coliseum when Tim Rattay was quarterback for the Bulldogs. Troy Edwards was the receiver. They were favored in the Coliseum against USC. And that was a good Tech team, but to my point, I mean, they were struggling. Then they had the Pete Carroll days where we never thought they were going to lose again, and then now they're back at the bottom. That's really the kind of the one I can think that rose from the ashes, got back to the top, even though they've fallen off.
It's all, every situation's different. I mean, you're talking about 15 years of irrelevance here for Tennessee since they were really in the mix, and most of it has been right around between 5 and 8 wins. So for a 15-year period, and then to come back and be great, I mean,
there's not. There's just, and so I bring that up because if I'm Nebraska, if I'm Tennessee,
everybody's had bad seasons, but bad 15-year runs.
That's a different argument, right? And then to get back to the top, like if you're down here and you're in the cellar,
LSU was bad for most of the 90s. I mean,
yeah, but the 80s, they didn't win national championships.
No.
They didn't
won the
play
SEC.
for it. Okay. Tennessee won national championships. They were in Atlanta, multiple years. And so to get back to the top, pretty hard. We'll see if Tennessee can do it. I'm going to go ahead and say no. They cannot in the near future.
I would think not. But the
orange
question,
pants, though, really. Where are you getting your orange pants from?
Derek Dooley.
Dooley?
He didn't need them anymore.
Yeah, Dooley should have stayed at Tech as the head coach and AD. He screwed it up when he left Tech. He was the AD head coach, and he went to go wear orange pants, and now
and crutches.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's calling plays for Drew Lock there for a bit.
Yeah. Not anymore, though.
No.
All right, we'll take a break here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Kentucky, and hoops, and the latest on the LSU defensive coordinator search. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
The Louisiana Charter Boat Association has given you the opportunity to win one of their famous fishing trips for free. You can head to the coast with your friends for a wonderful day of inshore fishing on the day of your choice with the captain of your choice. To sign up to win this free fishing charter experience, visit lasaltwater.com.
All right, a lot of people inside the Bayou Fort chat asking about the Hanny man. Where's Hanny at? Hanny, we're trying to get actually to come on for a segment today. Maybe he's over, getting a muffalata. It is $5 muffalata Monday.
That's correct.
He didn't come in to get his free one, so that's the only thing I can think of.
Maybe or he's just relaxing.
I mean, he's been relaxing for a couple of weeks now. I mean, my man's got new hips. He should be up doing a jive right now. Right?
Are we to cartwheels yet?
I would pay right now at least $100 to see him attempt a cartwheel. Right?
I don't think that's advised by the medical professionals at this time.
It's not a lot of pressure on your hip. I mean, it's more the hands part of it that I would have to see.
I hope he hadn't suffered any bad beats with the hips, because I don't want to test the jumping.
Well, statistically speaking, it is very likely happened.
Yeah, I was about to say it. He likes to have some action almost every day. So
about 2 weeks in at this point, I'm thinking we hadn't batted 1,000.
No,
that's just a guess.
There's no shot. So we'll see if we can get an update from Hanny. He's over there probably getting his muffalata, but if not, we'll have him on for a quick segment. Here in this segment, I want to talk about the quarterback movement in the NFL. Matthew Stafford is going to be the latest that looks like, at least, is on the move for next season. Him and the Lions apparently are going to part ways. No surprise there. And you and I were talking about it during one of the breaks. You've got so many veteran quarterbacks that either are going to be on the move or possibly could be on the move, because we talked about Aaron Rodgers. Is he on the move with Jordan Love in place? Dak Prescott from the Cowboys isn't somebody that we've brought up in this conversation. Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson. There's going to be new quarterbacks that have skins on the wall in new places all over the NFL. And it's important in this conversation because we know the New Orleans Saints are going to be in the quarterback market as well. Even if they do end up bringing Jameis Winston back, even if they do have a plan for Taysom Hill, I've got to believe they're at least going to explore what their options are when it comes to the replacement of Drew Brees.
It was all the buzz at Pluckers on Saturday that the Saints were going to be in on Matt Stafford. And I'm looking at this going, I just don't see how it makes sense. I don't know how you can figure it out dollars and cents. Mickey Loomis is a genius at massaging those cap numbers and deferring money and moving it around. I don't know how any of it works. But you've got a lot of cash invested in Taysom Hill. Now, Breeze comes off the books.
Not fully.
To an extent. I just don't know how, when you're $90 million plus over the cap, you're going to bring in a quarterback that's going to command as much money as Matt Stafford's going to make when Taysom Hill's already there. I don't know how it works.
Really, when you look at their cap issues, and again, they are so good at getting those numbers right, but still, I don't know who's available for you. Is Jameis Winston the best option because he didn't go out there on the field this year? He wasn't able, less than 20 plays this year, whatever it was. He wasn't able to go out there and really raise his value back to where he thinks it should be. And you got him for a bargain last year. You're not going to get him for that same price, but complete bargain considering what these other quarterbacks are going to cost. Now, could you sign Matthew Stafford and give him a $17 million signing bonus to cover the salary and get creative? Yeah, absolutely. You can do a lot of those things. And if you can get Matthew Stafford to New Orleans, I don't think there's many Saints fans that would be mad at that.
No, but then the question you ask yourself is, how much do you value Ryan Ramczyk and Marshawn Lattimore? Because those two guys are about to have to get a huge chunk of cash. And where do you allocate? Do you just say, well, that was a good run, we made a good pick, but we can't figure it out? Or
you have some assets if you're the New Orleans Saints as well. You do. You have some assets that other teams will absolutely want. Now, you have the team that you have because of those assets. You have a football team that has a lot of desirable guys. You have young football talent as well. How much are you willing to give up to get the right player at the most important position, right? That's what they have to juggle as well, because you don't want to give everything up and to really put a big chance on your future to get the present. Like, it's okay to do that a year or two, but obviously when you have a young core like the Saints have, they want to keep that core together for as long as they can, and trading some of that core away to bring someone in, how much is that going to mess up the dynamic of what they have? And so some of, when you think of what Jameis Winston will cost, makes sense. Now, how much has he improved? How much has his decision-making improved? I'm not real interested in what his diet is. I'm not real interested that he had LASIK surgery. I had LASIK surgery too, and I'm sitting here squinting trying to see what time it is. Okay? I'm not real interested in those things. Is he better at figuring out who to throw the football to? Even if his vision's blurry, is the team in red still where they're at in coverage opposed to the team in black? I'm trying to throw this football. I mean,
do you think Peyton's already determined who his starter is going to be for the first game next year?
Sean Payton's so hard to read.
I don't think it's hard to read. I think when you let Taysom be the backup this year instead of Jameis Winston, and you committed the amount of money that you've committed to him, which is a $16 million cap hit for next year, I think he's the starter. I think it's a terrible idea, but I think that's what all the clues are telling me.
Oof. You want to talk about some angry fans? If you roll Taysom out there as the number one, QB1, you lose Jameis, because if that's the case, Jameis isn't signing back with New Orleans, and you have God knows who is your number two.
Go get a McCown.
Well, he interviewed to be the head coach of the Texans.
That doesn't matter. This probably pays pretty good too. But that's just my view of it. Having absolutely zero information on the inside other than, hey, this is what I see on the screen for the salary cap. This is what he did when Breeze went out this year.
Look, Taysom is a guy that can fill in here or there. He can have his plays. He can have a role in this offense. I don't think there's any question about that. Like, there is a place for him. It's just not right now as the next guy after Drew Brees. And there's not going to be this many quarterbacks on the market every single year. Like, you have a real opportunity to get a really good quarterback. Now, the price of it, that's the biggest hurdle because of where they sit. But there's going to be so many guys that are going to be on the move, free agent-wise, trade-wise, drafting. If you want to draft someone in the later part of the first round, not every year do you have this. I mean, we just rolled out a bunch of quarterbacks that still have some gas left in the tank that can help you get back to where you just were, which is the postseason. I don't know if Taysom's that guy.
I'm confident that he's not. But I'm just reading what I see. I think people would just be furious. I mean, the fumbling issues he had, the inaccuracy with the football at times, it just, plus the fact how often he's going to run, how many hits he's going to take in that league. He's a big man, he's a strong dude, but it just seems like a bad idea to me.
All right, we mentioned two teams in Louisiana playing basketball that haven't been great as of late. We're going to talk about that other team, the New Orleans Pelicans, with Will Guillory of The Athletic when we come back here. This is Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com, committed to changing lives. So committed that they created the Go Local initiative. This is supporting our local businesses, the one that makes our communities feel like we're at home. GMFS is giving away $10,000 in Visa gift cards to those who visit participating Go Local businesses and enter their drawings. So learn more about the official rules at GMFSmortgage.com/Go Local. You know how we spell go around here, G-E-A-U-X, G-E-A-U-X, local, GMFSmortgage.com. If 2021 is the year that you're moving into a new home, that you're refinancing your current home, that you're adding on with a construction loan to your current home, start your financial journey at GMFSmortgage.com. Let them do for you what they did for me and they've done for thousands of others. When they talk about changing lives, they're talking about changing your monthly budget for the better. So start that financial journey today at GMFSmortgage.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening. with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Join us for a Monday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott, live from Ivar Sports Bar. We recap championship weekend in the NFL and look ahead to the matchup in the Super Bowl. Come see us or tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in here on a Monday afternoon. Talked LSU hoops in hour number one. We're going to talk a little Pelicans hoops now with our guy Will Guillory from The Athletic. Will, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Doing well. Always appreciate you hopping on, and I wish we could talk about a basketball team that was thriving, a basketball team that is kind of making some progress, but the loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are at the bottom of the West, and they were missing multiple guys, and the Pelicans still could not get it done. I think even with the Pacers loss a couple of weeks ago when you're up 6 with seconds left, still doesn't hurt as much or isn't as head-scratching as this one to the Timberwolves the other night, Will.
Yeah, because, I mean, the Indiana Pacers was all about execution. And, you know, you could figure out execution. You could work on execution. Minnesota, it was just a matter of they just didn't show up. I mean, they didn't play with the type of effort needed. Minnesota was missing their two best players. And the Pelicans were a team that, you know, was supposed to be desperate for a win. I mean, they were, you know, getting beat up pretty good throughout this road trip. And they want, and you figured they would want to end this extended road trip on a good note. But instead, they kind of just, you know, came out and laid a dud out there against maybe, you know, the worst team in the West. And it brings up a whole lot of questions about just where the collective mindset is at for this team and how they're reacting to this slow start.
Well, what's the thing you're most surprised by after 15 games with the Pelicans?
I got to say it's twofold. Just the shooting struggles of Alonzo Ball and J.J. Redick. And I know a lot of people are going to say, how could you ever put Alonzo Ball and J.J. Redick in the same sentence? And I think, you know, with Lonzo, we saw him make some major strides with his shooting last year. And I think, you know, I was expecting him to kind of pick up where he left off before the shutdown. Obviously, he wasn't good in the bubble. But I think he did a lot of good things for this team last year. And I think just the way his confidence has been gone, you know, this entire season has been really surprising. And J.J. Redick is a guy who's been one of the most consistent NBA players of the past decade. And he's shooting 30% on three-pointers this year, which is stunning because he was supposed to be one of the main shooters for this team. So I think that tells you a lot about where the struggles have come from with this team on the offensive end. They just can't find any shooting.
Obviously, you move on from Alvin Gentry, you bring in Stan Van Gundy. Have you noticed any sort of a culture change? Do you attribute any bit of these early struggles to just a change in regime?
I think, you know, some of it is just having to learn a new coach and learn how you fit in his system. And obviously this is a different type of year where they don't have as much practice time. They didn't have as much lead up to training camp. You know, in years past, most of these guys get together during the summer and play a couple weeks of pickup ball just to know how to play together. Know, you know, the tendencies of your guys. And then this year they weren't even allowed in the same room basically until the start of training camp. So, you know, it's going to be a process when you got a new coach, you know, two new starters. But I think, you know, they're not the only team dealing with that. And I think they've struggled more than anybody else with that specific issue. So I think, they got to figure it out. I think Stan Van Gundy has to make things a little bit more simple for his guys, and they frankly just got to do a better job of handling, what he's putting on the table and what kind of demands he has right now.
Well, it seems like right now they have their rotation locked in because you look at a guy like Kyra Lewis, and I realize he was a lottery pick, but not necessarily a top 10 pick. He came in at 13, obviously. He's not really getting any run. I mean, he's played in less than half of the Pelicans' games so far. It seems like right now Van Gundy says, these are our guys. This is who we're rolling with, and they're going to try to break through with these current guys that they're playing in the rotation.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's why I was kind of confused with the Kyra Lewis pick at the time because they are so deep at the guard position. I mean, they drafted a point guard last year, and they killed Alexander Walker in the first round. And he's a guy that's getting more minutes, and I think he should be getting more minutes than he's currently getting. And you also got Lonzo, you got Eric Bledsoe, who you got back in the Drew Holiday trade. You want to get minutes to Josh Hart. You want to get minutes to J.J. Redick. So, I mean, it's tough for Kyra Lewis. But I think, they're trying to figure things out with the rotation. They're switching things up here and there. Nicole O'Malley has dropped out pretty much. Jackson Hayes is getting a little bit more time. But I think ultimately it's less about the rotation. I think they should change the starting lineup, but I think ultimately these guys have to execute more. They got to play better. They got to do the right things to win. And right now, they're just doing a lot of boneheaded stuff on the court, just beating themselves in a lot of different ways. And I think once they kind of get their focus right and understand what they got to do to win games, I think that's when we're going to see more results.
Only Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard have scored more points than Zion Williamson over the last 3 games. Zion scored 90. What have you made of his play?
Yeah, I think Sam Gundy has done a really good job of kind of opening up Zion's game. Last year, Zion's offensive package was pretty limited. They were posting him up. They were, allowing him to run in transition, and they were using him as a pick-and-roll guy, setting screens, rolling the basket, and that was basically it. And this year, we're seeing more of him, doing coast-to-coast, getting rebounds and pushing it in transition. They're allowing him to be the ball handler in pick-and-roll situations. They're, giving him one side and letting him ISO guys and attack the rim off the dribble. And I think just allowing him to do all those different things is just making him more comfortable in his offensive game, because I don't think Zion ever really looked at himself as a pure post-up guy, even though he was one of the best post-up guys in the league last year, which is insane. That tells you how talented this guy is. But I think he's always thought of himself as this versatile offensive weapon, a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And now that they're allowing him to do that, I think you see his confidence growing, and he's able to attack defenses in different ways and make it difficult, for these specific matchups.
Talking New Orleans Pelicans with our guy Will Guillory from The Athletic. Will, when you look at this roster, it's a young roster for the most part, so you're going to talk about development. Where is a guy this year opposed to where he was last year? Where do you see Jackson Hayes, who's getting a little bit more run this year in his development?
Yeah, I think we seen some real tangible growth from Jackson, and I think the Pelicans have to be really happy. I think obviously he's been a project, and he's going to continue to be a project as his body grows, as he figures out how to fit next to Zion Williamson. But I think he's done a great job. Well, last year, I think like most rookies, he does his success on, how many points did I score? How many huge dunks did I have? How many opportunities did I get at the rim? And I think it was kind of a culture shock for him when Stan Van Gundy came in and said, hey, we're not running plays for you. We're not making sure we get you the ball when you're in the game. You got to get yours from hustle, offensive rebound, being in the right place at the right time on offense. And I think we saw him struggle with that early in the year, but now I think we see him consistently bringing that energy. He's consistently attacking the boards, and I think that's what you want to see from him, not necessarily worrying about the dunks as fun as they are, but he's got to be a guy that's on the defensive boards, protecting the rim, running the floor, and I think those have to be the biggest strengths of his game, and I think they have been these past few weeks.
Stan Van Gundy's not shy with a microphone in front of him. What has his mood been through the start of this season? What does he think they're doing well, and what does he think they obviously need to really improve on?
Yeah, he's been unhappy. I think that's safe to say. And he tried to start out 5-10. I don't think him or anybody else with this team kind of saw this coming. I think that as much as they tried to sell it, publicly, I think a lot of them internally were very optimistic about what they can do this year and how Stan Van Gundy can impact them in the standings, and it just hasn't happened so far. And I think for him, it's been a really big challenge figuring out how to mesh his style with this young group, and I think that's still an ongoing process. I've written about that before, that he can't coach this team the same way he coached the Orlando Magic, in the 2000s. He's got a young group that wants to run, that doesn't have that defensive mindset just yet. So they've got to, meet in the middle a little bit more. And I think he's getting there, but, it's a process. And the losses are tough on everybody, including him. But I think they're figuring things out, and I think the important thing is they're putting that sense of mindset in place. And the numbers haven't been good. They've been disastrous, frankly, the past few weeks. But I think that mentality is getting there with this team, and they're talking about defense constantly. And that's what you got to be if you want to win at the highest level, a team that can go get a stop when you need it.
Well, how important is it for this Pelicans team to make the postseason? Because there's one thing to have a young roster, to get a Zion, to have, all these lottery picks. But after a while, you get all these picks and you sign J.J. Redick like you did a year ago. You get a Bledsoe in a trade. You're expected to win now. And so how important is it? I mean, is it detrimental that they make the postseason because of all the things that they've put forward for this season?
Yeah, I think it's, something that they really want. Some of the fan base obviously wants. I think it's really important for these young guys to get into a postseason experience and know what that feels like, know what the demands are. Now, when I say, how detrimental is it if they don't make it, I mean, I don't think, Stan Van Gundy's job is going to be on the line, or, they're going to make any massive trades if they don't make the playoffs. But I do think it's really important for them to not accept where they are right now and not just say, well, we're building for the future. I think with this fan base, when you have this much talent and you're spending, max dollars on a Brandon Ingram and you're giving big money to Steven Adams, I think it's fair for the fans to expect results and be unhappy with what they've done so far. But I do think you got to understand that, Zion's still very young and Brandon Ingram is still learning how to be a number one guy. And I think so much of what this team is going to do is about what they look like a few years from now, not necessarily right now. But I do think it is. I think the fans are right to be upset again with what they've done so far. I think it's extremely disappointing, and I think it's on a number of fronts what the issues have been. But when we say how detrimental is it going to be, I'm not sure, but I do think it's going to hurt.
All right, he is Will Guillory. You can catch his work on The Athletic. Great job as always. Look forward to get you back on the fold and talk Pelicans basketball, Will.
Absolutely. I always appreciate you guys.
All right, there he is, Will Guillory, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Pelicans are really struggling. I'm just saying, if you want to look for some scoring, you can look to China, where Jimmer Fredette, 70 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 11 threes made in 54 minutes last night. Just saying.
I watched Jimmer Fredette in the Smoothie King Center. I don't know if it was called that at the time. I think it was still may have just been New Orleans Arena at that time. But I went and covered the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. I was working with Shea over at Scout at the time, and the Wisconsin was in the pod, and their guy wasn't able to come down, so he sent us over there. So it was Wisconsin, Florida, Butler, and BYU, and watched Jimmer make some buckets
from the logo.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like that, and of course we're kidding. We just talked to Pelicans, and it came across the news right before we came on this break that Jimmer scored all that. When a guy's that dominant in college and it doesn't translate whatsoever to the next level, it's always like, man, how?
Trent
He did it
Richardson.
against every team that he played against. That's a great one. Adam Morrison. How does it happen? Trent Richardson was a top 5 NFL draft choice and is not vested in the NFL benefit plan.
Nope. I was terrified every time he got the ball. I was terrified when they broke the huddle and he was out there.
Some guys, it just doesn't translate.
I don't get it.
All right, we'll take a break. I think the Hanny Man is going to join us in the 2 o'clock hour. So we're going to have Jim Hawthorne at 2 o'clock. We're going to have Hanny at some point after that. So, between those two guys, plenty of old LSU baseball.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Surely. All right, we'll take that break. More to come. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, brought to you by Gotros Outdoor Power. 2 locations locally, of course, in Baton Rouge. That's Airline at Industriaplex. In Gonzales, Airline at 74. We always give the address because we would encourage you to go check out the showroom. Because when you walk in, you're going to see all the SCAG power equipment that they have available, which is a lot, right? They give you multiple options, residential and commercial-wise. We always give the website, GotrosOutdoorPower.com. Why? Because if you're listening to us up in North Louisiana on 11:30 a.m. or you're watching us across the state of Louisiana on Cox Sports Television, remember, free delivery to you. So you go to the website, click New Equipment, you go down to the SCAG Power Equipment section, which, by the way, Louisiana's #1 SCAG dealer. you'll see 0% for 60 months, now available for all models, and you will get your Skag power equipment delivered to you free of charge to your doorstep. Again, GoTrosOutdoorPower.com. As GoTros, we make it easy.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The winner is the dog with antioxidant vitamin C.
Given the choice, why wouldn't you choose the one with antioxidant vitamin C? Choose Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Coming up on Tuesdays Off the Bench, Coach O stops by to give you the latest in the LSU defensive coordinator search, football school, and getting ready for second signing day. Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football, and a brand new OTB mailbag. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
A-plus tweet from part-time Peter Burns. When your fan base has mastered the art of private plane tracking, it's safe to say your program has seen better times.
That's correct. Flight tracker, flight aware.
Tennessee fans are all over it right now. Apparently there's a plane going from here to there and there to here. And
seems like a waste of a day. I'm not in the mindset, like when people, like the Eli Ricks thing breaks and everybody's like, what's the deal? I was like, there is no deal until someone says there's a deal. If Eli comes out and tweets, I'm leaving, or someone says he's going to, wherever, that's the news. But I can't live in the rumor mill world. That's what irritated me with recruiting. I had to kind of tune out of it. Yeah. It's like, what color socks is he wearing? What's his backpack say? Where does his girlfriend go to school? It's like, chill. We'll find out when he signs.
All right.
That's just how I live.
Hot take from Hoot Palmer.
I don't think it's that hot. It's just irritating.
Yeah, it's lukewarm. All right. We're talking NFL draft evaluation because, can I say unique? Because it is unique.
Yeah, this is
okay.
unique
Good.
year.
It's unique. Okay, good. No combine. You're not going to have visits. There's not going to be in-person workouts. You know what you do have? The Senior Bowl down in Mobile. That's going to be the biggest evaluation piece. And, of course, not everybody plays in the Senior Bowl. You'll have some of your top-tier guys decide to opt out, although they've gotten a really good group this year. And you'll have some guys that they didn't deem worthy enough to play in the Senior Bowl, not playing there, that will be drafted and be NFL stars. It's always crazy. I don't know if you've had a chance to cover the Senior Bowl. It is always crazy, those first couple of practices, how many people are there and the notepads and the timers and just the conversation going on. I used to actually go when I was in the NFL because at the time, my in-laws were living in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So we would go, Katie and the kids would go to the beach. Me and my father-in-law would drive, and we'd go watch the Senior Bowl practice with Norv or whoever, you know, and we'd sit there and we'd watch it just because I enjoyed the competition of it. I mean, it's getting after it as much as you'll ever see in a practice, and that's going to go up another notch here because this is it, Hunt. This is all that you have, and some of the top guys are playing in this game, and if you're a football player, you're not a guy that is the underwear Olympics champion, I would love that. I'd love the fact that they're going to have to grade me off what I do in shoulder pads and not my underwear.
Yeah, I was thinking about who's missing out, like who would really thrive at the combine from LSU. And, I mean, Kerry Vincent comes to mind as a track guy who you just go and just put a blazing time up there. So I think, obviously, there are going to be pro day workouts, right?
That's not yet known.
Okay. So Kerry needs those individual workouts at some point, or else he needs to just put something on the internet.
They'll have different ways to be able to show you what someone's done in combine training for sure.
So, but that's a guy that I think would really tear up the combine if able to go and do that. I think Racey McMath is a guy that would have a really good combine. He's such a good athlete, and that the size would be really impressive. But get your chance over there to go play some football. And Racey never, target number one here at LSU. And that's kind of the deal with Stephon Sullivan, where he just talented guy. We don't have a spot for you, but has made a way and has found a way on an NFL roster on the other side of the ball, no less. But it's interesting to think about weight paths to the NFL and who needs what workout to show their best.
And you also forget about guys like Jamie Newman. Remember Jamie Newman, Wake Forest, transferred to Georgia, decided to opt out. He'll be down in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. So you've got someone that hasn't played football in a long time, and this is more important than a combine would be because you have pads on. Let's see what the rust looks like. Let's see if you still have it, all those type of things. I think a guy like that can benefit from the Senior Bowl.
I think Jabril Cox would like a combine to run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. He would run one of the fastest linebacker times, we think.
I have faith that these schools, and I don't know about every school. Not every school has the resources and the ways to do all these type of things. A school like LSU, and I hadn't had these conversations, I might be just having a pipe dream here. There's a way to have their own pro day.
Yeah.
If they want to fly someone in, NFL trust, maybe the NFL comes up with a group that they send different I don't know. And all of it is filmed. LSU has all the resources to do that, and you get a realistic chance to see what they would do as a 40.
Yeah, I mean that stuff is objective. I mean, you can look at three cone. I mean, at hips and rotation stuff, but like 3 cone drills, 40s, bench press, vertical, all that stuff. We can just do it and send it out in an email. Here's what everybody did.
Right, and they're going to want to see it with their own eyes because here's another thing that people don't even know. The combine with all the times and everything, and you see it on the NFL Network, and it pops up. Boom! Here's this time. NFL teams 9 times out of 10 have their own time. That's why they all sit at the finish line, and they trust their hand guy more than they trust anything else. And I've told this story. The Seahawks came up to me like, "Hey, we had you at a 4.57." I remember the 49ers came up to me, "Hey, we had you 4.61." And then another team's like, I think the lowest I got was a 4.53, and it went all the way up to a 4.62. Right? That's the difference. But that's the time that these teams are going off of, and they don't have that ability. So you really have to trust things that you've never really put your full trust into as well. I think it's a great setup for football players. And when I say that, I mean guys that have been dominant on tape, guys that can put the pads on and have a good week down in Mobile. If you're a guy, John Ross, who's going to go set the 40 record, and that's what you're hanging your hat on, you're losing a lot of money this year. It's plain and simple. The guys down in Mobile right now, Mac Jones, we've seen that picture, Bo. If you smoking that cigar, that ain't where you're going to make your money.
It's hard for me to imagine that someone could be in an elite strength and conditioning program for 4 years and come up with that.
Some people's bodies, Hunt, it is what it is. It ain't changing much. I know guys that work their butt off, and that's what they look like. And look, the guys went out there and almost won a Heisman Trophy looking like that.
Yeah.
So that part of it in Indy, and they're going to have my belief is they're going to have these meetings still in Mobile, so they're going to have the opportunity, which is the same process as you have in Indy. You get the card, and they tell you, all right, here's your list. Whatever team comes up to you, 12 o'clock Seahawks, 12:30 Rams, 1 o'clock Chargers, 2 o'clock Saints. Fill it out. You're going to meet that team in whatever ballroom or whatever room that they have at this hotel, and you're going to go have your meeting. That's still going to happen. So they're going to have the opportunity to impress that way as well.
Everybody's having to adjust and do things differently in 2021, so we'll figure it out.
All right, we will take our last break of hour number 2. When we come back, Jim Hawthorne, the legendary voice of LSU, will join us to talk about LSU and talk about Larry King. Was actually on a broadcast with him with the Shreveport Steamers, baby. We'll catch up with Jim Hawthorne when we come back here. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Sonda.
Hanging with Hester and
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Hand Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hannagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hannagriff.
All right, welcome in hour number 3 of the show. Here alongside Hunt Palmer. We will get an update from Hanny here in about 15 minutes or so. Excited to welcome onto the show now Jim Hawthorne, former voice of the LSU Tigers. Jim, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, glad to have you on. And really, I want to talk some LSU here in a bit. But as you and I were talking yesterday, I want to talk some Shreveport Steamers here. Of course, we're on up in 11:30 a.m. The Tiger up in Shreveport as well. So I know we got some fans that will enjoy this because the late, great Larry King obviously passed away last week, and that was the color commentator on the radio with you for the Shreveport Steamer calls.
Yeah, that was a remarkable thing, the way that came about. He, first of all, for the folks that don't remember or just didn't know, the World Football League was formed to play in the summer, to compete against the NFL, to keep professional football going, and so Shreveport ended up with a team because Houston had a team that collapsed, and they moved to Shreveport and became the Shreveport Steamer. And so they wanted to get the games on the radio, and KWKH, of course, is a big 50,000-watt clear channel station you can hear all over the world just about. So they wanted us to do the games, and I just happened to be there as the program director at the time. But I was also doing centenary basketball and high school football, and so I just had the opportunity. It sort of they came to us and asked us would we do it, and of course they said yeah. Well, now then it was let's get somebody that can work with you, and we understand there's a guy who has worked with the Miami Dolphins in Miami that has just moved to town, and he is the publicist out at the Louisiana Downs. which is the racetrack in Bossier City. And that so happened it was Larry King. And we had never heard of him or didn't know anything about him other than that little bit of information. So we invited him into the radio station, and we visited with him. And he said, yeah, he'd like to do it. And so off we went on quite a little short adventure.
Now, obviously, Larry King, a lot of our fans obviously know him from the CNN years after, but I've got to ask, what was he like working with then? Because, normally when you look for a color commentary guy in the booth, it's someone who played or someone who coached maybe, but this was a unique circumstance. He was in town moonlighting as the marketing director for Louisiana Downs.
Yeah, he was chief publicist. I think that's what they call it, publicist or whatever. He was doing 2 shows a day on KWKH with the race results.
Yeah.
The fact was that he had some relationship with professional football with the Miami Dolphins in Miami. And so I think that was one of the things. Plus, we'd heard his voice, which was very unique, as you know. And so off we go. He is truly one of a kind. They threw the mole away after Larry. He's very outspoken, very brash. I liked him because he has such a quick mind, and I had some tape. I wish I could have found it that could have played you a little bit of some of our conversation that we had, because it was just to give you a quick example. He's the only guy that I know of ever that interviewed the referee the halftime of a basketball game. that was at Centenary. He said he doing a basketball game with me. It was halftime, and I went to do whatever you do at halftime. Came back, he was interviewing the referee. And okay, well, that's pretty good. The other, I guess, quick story I'll tell you is we had gone to out to Anaheim, California. And the Shreveport Steamer was playing I think they called themselves the Sun, the California Sun, I believe, in Anaheim Stadium. And back in those days, they televised all of the games. And one of the things they did that was unique was that they had on as a guest commentator someone from the entertainment world that really didn't have anything to do with sports, but was there for entertainment to help build the audience. And on this particular day in Anaheim, California, they had Burt Reynolds, who was doing the game. So it got to be halftime, and Larry turned to me and said, I was known as James Lynn back then. That's the name that I used on the air. They said, James, go get Burt. And I said, do what? He says, go get Burt Reynolds and ask him if he'll come to the booth so I can interview him. But I said, okay. And I walked down the hall, and he was standing outside the broadcast booth of the TV, just standing there, and he looked like Buckskin Bill. He was wearing a suit of buckskin leather with the moccasins and the whole thing. So I just walked right up to him like I knew what I was doing and stuck my hand out and said, hey, Bert, James Lynn, Shreveport Radio, wonder if we could talk with you just for a few minutes. And he looked at me kind of funny and said, sure. And I said, okay, come on. Well, when we got back to the broadcast booth, we had to wait a little bit because Larry King was already interviewing Tom Harmon, who happened to be there in the stand. Watching the game, and people may remember Tom Harmon, of course, who was a great athlete, and so he interviewed Tom Harmon. Now then, it was Bert's time, and he interviewed Bert, and as soon as he was gone, he interviewed the mayor of Shreveport. All three at the halftime of that football game.
That's fantastic. Obviously, Jim Hawthorne joining us here, hanging with Hester and Hanny. Jim, Have you been? I mean, obviously, it's been a couple of years now since you've retired. Have you kept up with the Tigers and watched them?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
What'd you make of the 2019 football team?
Oh my goodness. I love that so much. I obviously would love to have been a part of it, but I was just so happy for everybody that was a part of that team, and really for all the Tiger fans, and it was just a dream come true. It was a once in a lifetime thing. I don't think there's any question in my mind that this is probably the greatest football team, college football team ever. It certainly was. As far as I was concerned, I mean, what they did, I don't know if anybody will ever be able to do it again, or certainly if they even come close, do it in that manner. But it was just a fairy tale season, and it was just terrific. I was so proud.
Obviously, the world's been turned upside down in the last 10 or 11 months, and one of the things that's come of it is a lot of remote broadcasts, whether it's Chris Blair working some basketball games from back in Baton Rouge when the team travels, or television crews not traveling to game. As someone who broadcasted thousands of games over your career, what challenges might that present?
Well, I don't really, a lot. I have great admiration for the guys that are having to go through that. And do it that way. It's remarkable, but I guess in this day and age, it's something that is possible that people watching the games probably just take for granted. They don't realize, what's going on, because the guys that I've heard do it, including Chris and the TV guys that I've heard do such an outstanding job. And it kind of reminds me back when I was doing baseball for LSU, for the college baseball for the first time, LSU, and I had to broadcast games from inside my car, behind the steering wheel of my car at places, because it was I was actually there, but I was in my car because there was no place to be otherwise. And but you do what you have to do, and so tip of the cap to all the guys that are doing that so well.
All right, Jim, before we let you go, and we really appreciate your time this afternoon, since you've been able to call games in Tiger Stadium, over at the Bucs, inside the PMAC, what was utopia for you? What was the ultimate setting for you that you said, you know what, this is my favorite place to call a game?
Well, you're talking about just football,
just
in
general.
Football.
It can be baseball, football, basketball. Your entire time calling games. What to you was your favorite setup?
Well, I don't think it could get any better for me than being in Tiger Stadium, because I grew up listening to it on the radio. I was a great fan of LSU on the radio before I got a chance to do it, and there were some particular venues that growing up that I always dreamed of being able to work from, such as Madison Square Garden, the Coliseum in Los Angeles, and places like that. So those were real treats for me to get to go and do that. But there was never anything that that made me feel any better or more comfortable or more proud, I guess, than being able to walk into Tiger Stadium and pull out a box full of equipment and sit there and broadcast a football game. To me, it just didn't get any better than that.
All right, he is Jim Hawthorne, legendary voice of the LSU Tigers. Jim, we really appreciate your time this afternoon. Some great memories, and we appreciate you sharing them with us.
That's my pleasure. I appreciate it. Go Tigers.
All right, there he is, Jim Hawthorne. The old KWKH. That's where we're on in Shreveport. So it's funny, back then calling games for the Shreveport Steamers with Larry King on that station. So that was a lot of fun.
It's just good to hear Jim's voice, honestly. I mean, that's just that he's talking about growing up listening. Yeah. Well, I grew up listening to him. Yeah. I mean, and there's a time where you didn't have everything on SEC Network and on your phone. Like most of basketball and baseball games, I listened to on the radio.
I mean, that's how my grandmother, she would get Tiger Vision when she could, but sometimes, it didn't work out. And that's how still she listened to every game that I played in at LSU. She turned on the radio, and it's just funny. That's what it was.
I had a Sony boombox. It was big boxy thing I got for Christmas one year, and it had AM/FM on it, and I would lay on my floor in my bedroom and listen to Tuesday night basketball games. There was no SEC network, so it was that was the only way I could get. I couldn't go. I was in Shreveport.
Yeah. Midweek games did matter then on that Sony boombox. You said okay, a little Sony boombox. Did you ever have to make a mixtape for someone and jump over the bed and hit play and record at the same time to make sure you got the beginning of the song?
I did do play and record at the same time to record it. I didn't remember why we did that. I guess it was making mixtape.
Making mixtape for the person that you're going to pass it off to in middle school. That's what it was for, Hoont. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to check in with the handyman himself. Charles Hanny will join us to give us an update on how he's doing right here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny. Off the Bench, Hangin with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Kentucky, and hoops, and the latest on the LSU defensive coordinator search. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. This time, the sound guy will be right. It is Hanging with Hester and Hanny because we do have a Hanny sighting. We will get an update now from my man, Charles Hanagriff. Hanny, what is up, my man?
Oh, wow. My spirits. Yeah, good to hear from you guys. Good to talk to you.
I mean,
been a while, been too long, but improving by the day, and just kind of, man, Hester, you've done physical therapy, rehab, and injuries and stuff like that. I know many times, and now I'm going through it for this, and it's very much everything I've always talked about on the air with athletes that had to go through this kind of stuff. Very tedious, very, I don't want to say frustrating because it hasn't been frustrating because I'm seeing the results and I'm getting back there, but just very, very tedious and time consuming, and you can't skip steps, and you just have to go. I'm trying really hard not to use the word process, but I don't have a better word for it. But it's going well. My doctors, my nurses, my PTs are all real pleased with where I am. So looks good right now.
All right, so we've actually got a pot going, and Jim Nickel has added to this pot. We'd pay $300 to see you do a cartwheel right now because we feel good in the new hips and where you're at in your rehab.
Well, if it's going to be today, then Nickel's going to get to keep his money. I'm not that far. I'm not that far.
Okay.
I've made it to points where today I actually put a pair of socks on by myself.
Okay.
And it's been a while. Okay. I was able to do that without some kind of apparatus. So one thing at a time.
All right. So, Hanny, obviously you've been out for a couple of weeks now. A lot's happened in the sports world. I mean, we could go to the Tennessee dumpster fire, of course. LSU continues to search for their defensive coordinator. The Saints lose out in the postseason. So which one has been the hardest not to be able to come here and react to?
Well, I want to say that there's no truth to the rumor that I boycotted until LSU hired a defensive coordinator.
Okay.
That's not why I've been out. Probably the toughest thing was watching the Saints lose because I felt like that was a game that was there for them to win. And I think it would have been about a 50-50, maybe a 60-40 Green Bay lean. I know Green Bay would have been favored, obviously, but I think the Saints could have won at Lambeau. And that Jared Cook play is going to haunt me for a while. You go back to some of the games that the Saints have lost in the playoffs, and you think about certain plays, it's like, man, that's where it got loose from him. And I really believe if Cook hangs on to the ball, if he just falls down where he catches it, that the Saints are going to put points on the board there, and they're going to win the game. And the team they lost to ends up being, in the Super Bowl and may very well win the Super Bowl. So it'll go down with the Pierre Thomas play in the game against the 49ers in 11, which was I felt like the play that lost them. If Thomas doesn't get knocked out of the game with a concussion on a pretty nasty play, then I think they win that day. So that one will haunt me for a while.
All right, so we laid out a couple of things that have happened in the sports world. Would you like a couple of minutes to at least make fun of Tennessee like we have done over the last couple of days, week?
It's almost not fair. I mean, we did this 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Or was he there for 3 years?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. When I got into sports talk in the 90s, Tennessee, they weren't the model program in the SEC, but boy, they were close.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 90s, they were a perennial top 10, top 12 team in the country. They were a perennial SEC giant. If it wouldn't have been for Steve Spurrier, they would have put up probably 3-4 more conference titles than they did. I remember going in, let's see, what year was this? 98 or 2001? I think it was 2001. It was a Kelly Washington game.
Yeah, that's right.
And I went to Fulmer's office to interview him. He agreed to a pregame interview for what we were doing, and he said, "Come to my office." And I went to Philip Fulmer's office, and this was before everybody had built all of these Taj Mahals, including LSU. LSU had just opened. It was kind of bare bones at the time. And I walked into Tennessee's facility, and you just see all of the trappings of all of the championships they've won and everything that Fulmer had won and all of these pictures and all of these things. And I'm like, man, LSU is so far away from this. And sitting in Philip Fulmer's office talking with him for 10 minutes, listening to him, and I'm thinking to myself, man, LSU could win the game tomorrow and still be, years away from being this. And to see what they are now. And LSU caught them in, basically about 2 months after that, they beat them in the game, in the SEC championship game, and 2 years later they had won the national title. So just remember, you can turn things around pretty quickly if you get the right coach. But, man, how far they have fallen from that to where they are now is astonishing, really. Because I understand what's happened with Nebraska. And, the conference affiliation has hit them. And I guess I put Nebraska and Tennessee on the same level with where they were in the 90s. And I think, there's some real reasoning as to why Nebraska is not where they are anymore. Is there any real reasoning to why Tennessee's not, other than just complete
incompetence?
Yes. I can't come up with a better word than that. So, yeah, we can poke fun at them. I mean, we've certainly got time, but just astonishing where they have fallen.
What do you think of Coach LaFleur saying, "Rogers, why don't you come stand next to me and we're going to go send the field goal unit out there"?
I think that if he had told Rogers how to play before, Rogers would have appreciated it more. That's the thing about, okay, so you're letting your quarterback, your Hall of Fame quarterback, call plays. You're letting him dictate the series right up until the end. And then this is why you can't have two people call plays. Rogers went into the third down call, and whether he should have run or not, we can debate from now till the end of time. I think he probably would have made it, but I wouldn't say 100%. But he thought he had another play.
Yeah.
And LaFleur's the only one in the stadium that knew that he didn't. And this is why, you talk about co-coordinators and all of this. This is why you can't do that. You have to have one person that is calling the shots that knows the entire landscape of why you're calling things. Are you calling this to set up this? Are you calling this because you know you've got another play on a fourth down? And Rodgers didn't know.
Hanny, when you look at Tom Brady and what he's been able to do throughout his career, and we've spent a whole segment talking about just insane stats. Like, he makes it to the Super Bowl at a better percentage than Steph Curry shoots a three-pointer in an NBA game. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think yesterday put all the conversation to bed as far as who's the greatest football player to ever play.
I'm certainly not going to argue that point. I will point out, though, that he was a little bit fortuitous yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his stat line. He threw for 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Who does that remind you of?
Tony Romo.
No. Well, not really. Reminds me of the guy that they got rid of to put him in there.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Jameis Winston stat line? You throw for plenty of yards, you make some huge plays, and you make 3 really foolish mistakes to turn the ball over. I mean, that's a Jameis Winston stat line if there ever was one. 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. I mean, Winston had 14 games like that his last year with the Bucs. But it worked out for Brady. He made the plays when he had to. And when we can talk about the Rodgers and the fourth down thing and Brady's stat line and all of that, that game came down to the last 14 seconds of the first half. You can't make that. You cannot gift the other team a touchdown with 1 second to go on the clock. I mean, that is an absolute breakdown of every defensive fundamental for that situation that has ever been written. So if you want me to break that game down to one play, that's the play.
Then let's turn our attention real quick, Hanny, to the AFC, and inevitable is the word that we keep using with the Chiefs, because it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter the lead that you get out to. That offense is going to find a way. They know it. They don't panic. They don't get off their script, right? And I was telling a story. We get down 14 when I was in San Diego or Denver. We would go to 11 personnel, third down plays only. We got to try to make up this score. They don't. They say, we're fine. We're good. We're going to run our offense, and we're going to score more points than you do at the end of the day. It's remarkable.
They're the boxer that can knock you out with multiple punches. I know what you mean when you're saying script. You're talking about game plan, but do they have a hard and fast script? Because if they're looking at third down and medium, third down and 5 to 7, isn't their whole playbook still open to them? I mean, things that other people can't do. A goal line situation. How many teams will run shovel pass to the tight end inside the 5? And they've done it like 4 times this year in big spots. They did it to the fullback once this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's go. They did, absolutely.
Yeah, and I remember that play because you texted me immediately as it was happening. They've just got so many different things that they can do. You can't go in there and say, take this away. Like you could take Tyreek Hill away even if you wanted to. Or you could take Travis Kelce away even if you wanted to. But even if you could, you still got a quarterback that can run. You've got running backs that can carry the day if you need them to. Can put the clock onto kind of warp speed if you need them to do that. There's just too many things that they do well. And that offensive line is good. I know they lost Ellis Fisher yesterday, but there's just too many things that they can do. And if you get them in the right play, if you have the absolute perfect defense called, you have everything in your favor, all the numbers work for you, Mahomes can still make a play. Like the one he made in the Superdome in the back of the end zone, where I don't know that there's another 3 people on the planet could make that throw.
All right, catching up with our guy Hanny here, and I know we're kind of going all over the place because my man's been out a couple of weeks. We had a lot to get to. One last thing, Hanny, Durante Jones in town, Vikings defensive backs coach, meeting with Coach A today. Coach O reports from Football Scoop, I believe, is where I saw it first, that he's meeting with Coach O. The search continues. You got a guy in town interviewing again. Do you think this is the guy? Do you think, maybe this week we find something out?
My answer is I don't have the first good idea. We've been doing. I mean, I've been out a while, right? And we were doing this before I left. Hey, this guy's in for an interview, and we go through his resume, and we have guests, and we talk about how this person might fit and what they might bring. And we've been over, right? Everybody we've talked about has just been people they brought in. So I don't know if this is any different. I have no inside scoop. I mean, if it involves, lifting your knees up to a certain point and holding it right there, I could probably tell you, because that's been my life for the last week and a half. But no, I don't know if they're any closer. Maybe he's a guy, and if he is, what did you say, Jake, when we finished doing the whole Marcus Freeman deal? We had, I think, multiple guests. We spent the better part of a day on it, day and a half maybe, and then when that didn't work out, when I forgot who was the next candidate in line at that point, and you looked at me and you go, no guests. We're just we'll say what's going on, and if he gets hired, then we'll do it. That's kind of, I'm still there, and we're 2-3 weeks down the line.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was Arnett from Mississippi State, if that was Nilsson from the Saints. Yeah, I remember that day and saying, you know what? We had Bobby Carpenter, we had James Laurinaitis, we had no guests. We'll just react whenever that move is made. All right, Hanny, I appreciate you hopping on with us. Good luck in your continued rehab, and hopefully we'll see you at some point, maybe at the end of this week or next week.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back. I don't want to say a day and jinx it, because as soon as I do, then the karma goes sideways. But soon. How's that?
All right, fair enough. All right, there he is, Charles Handergriff, of course.
Thanks, guys.
Co-host here on the show every single day. Well, most days. It's been a while. But good to catch up with our guy Hanny.
He's the man.
I wonder what apparatus he was talking about putting his socks on. Like, are we talking about one of those things like you can go around the room and pick up trash with? Do you put 2 of those together, spread your socks out, and then like put them on that way?
I have no idea. I've never had double hip replacement.
Yeah, me neither.
So
Now I'm curious, though.
Well,
I don't know. Just couldn't get it off my mind once he said it. I don't know. I thought everybody else would be thinking the same thing. All right, we'll take a break. We'll finish it up. A couple more segments left here on Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
All right, speaking of Richards Honda, you can find them online, richardshonda.com. Something they've added to the website we've been telling you about over the last week. They show you exactly how many vehicles they have in stock. We're talking new vehicles, 408 new vehicles in stock. If you look right now, that number is going to change. They're always going to add some vehicles to that list. Make sure that you go check the latest and the greatest over at Richards Honda. Remember, we encourage you to go see them as well at 13413 Millaville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge. That's I-12 and Millaville. Over 700 vehicles when you add in those pre-owned vehicles to the new vehicles there. So they've got something that you'll love and something that fits your lifestyle, because it doesn't matter what you're looking for. Car, hybrid, midsize, or full-size SUV. They have the Odyssey minivan. They have the Ridgeline truck. And so they're going to have something that you absolutely love. Again, 13413 Millaville Greens Boulevard. You can always check them out online at richardshonda.com. That's Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Join us for a Monday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott, live from Ivar Sports Bar. We recap championship weekend in the NFL and look ahead to the matchup in the Super Bowl. Come see us or tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, we're back here hanging with Hester and Hanny. Just actually heard from Hanny for the first time in a while. Good to hear my guy's voice. Good to hear Jim Hawthorne earlier in the show. Just a voice that kind of puts you in places. Like as soon as you hear the voice, you remember some of the places you were on some of his great calls. So it's been a fun show today. Something that we've delayed talking about because of kind of what Hanny and I ended with. We talked about it so many times in so many different ways that it's almost when something happens, we're going to react to it. Durante Jones is here in town, apparently.
Yep.
Football Scoop had it. And he's meeting with Coach O. I know it's someone that they've been interested in. Heard the name a couple of days ago. This is someone who has been in the NFL, I believe, since 2016 as a defensive backs coach. He's been with the Dolphins, Bengals, and the Vikings. He spent some time in college, places like Wisconsin. He's been
under Dave Aranda.
Yeah, been in the high school ranks in Louisiana. Actually,
2 different places,
a couple of different times. So the resume is the resume. Kind of going back again to what we just said.
It's an interesting. It's interesting because he's here, he's interviewing, so he's worth talking about. I mean,
Right.
And it's a guy who has not called defenses in a while and has not called them at this level. But he's got some Louisiana roots. He spent time around some good coaches. He's been in the NFL. Worth a shot to give him an interview and see. And it's one of those deals you don't have to hire him just because he's the next guy that you interviewed.
Right.
You just got to make sure that things are on the same page. And it certainly wouldn't be a splash of any kind, but maybe it's the right fit. Just got to see.
He's been at Nickel State as well, so another Louisiana tie. He's also been in – thank you, Kate. He's also been in –
So you mean he's a winner?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Colonel.
Yeah. Yep. He's also been in the CFL, so he's been all over the place. I mean, high school, college, CFL, NFL. So the resume is there. He's been at UCLA, and we mentioned he's been at Wisconsin. Don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest with you. The other names, because, Ryan Nielsen, we knew because he was the Saints defensive line coach. If he was the Detroit Lions defensive line coach, we probably don't know a whole lot about Ryan Nielsen there. And obviously, some of the other candidates, Marcus Freeman was the hot, young, up-and-coming name. He had played against LSU in the national championship game, so fans knew who he was. Zach Arnett was in the conference calling plays, so you know who he is. So to your point, because you don't know the name, it might not be the splashiest hire, but this is someone that they're talking to right now, and if a move is made, we'll definitely report on it. Don't know if something's going to happen today. Don't know if something's going to happen this week. I mean, the timetable's been hard to gauge kind of at this point.
And you wonder what the priority is. I mean, because you've got signing day coming up here with the next class that you can work with. You got football school that's going on over there. You've got to fill your staff out. And I guess you wait until you hire a defensive coordinator to understand what responsibilities you're going to give him, and then you hire the staff to complement that. I mean, you knew Corey's going to be here, but if you hire Nielsen, is he going to work with the defensive line?
Right.
Is he going to back up a level? What can Durante Jones do? We'll see.
Yeah, Durante Jones' background is as a DB's coach, so that's that part of it would surprise me that you have Corey Raymond in place, and Corey Raymond just got a commitment over the weekend. I mean, Corey Raymond he's at LSU, and you go get someone else who that's his specialty. Okay, so you start counting coaches. Okay, well, who's going to coach the defensive line? Who's going to coach the linebackers? Not to say that Jones couldn't do that. I mean, he's been a coach in the NFL and college, and we've given you the resume there. Not saying he couldn't bump down a level, but typically that's just not how you do it. So you do have an open spot because Bill Bush is not there. Okay, so if Corey takes over the whole secondary, you go get a guy that can coach the defensive front to replace that vacancy there, and then you go get that extra coach to be the linebacker coach. And then you have a coordinator that could just rover around the whole defense.
Yeah, and then you wonder also on defensive line how much O wants to trust the guys that we've talked about on this show with Christian Lockitcher, with Benny Logan, with himself as a defensive line guy. It's just you can massage it any way you want, and we've seen O do that with a number of different coordinators and created positions. Just I think the most important thing is you got to lock the defensive coordinator in and then go around him.
So if anything happens here in the next 12 minutes, we'll definitely react to it. Yeah, if something happens today after that, Matt will have it. And if something happens tomorrow morning, T-Bob will have it. So we're just all in the same waiting game as LSU has rolled in another candidate for their open defensive coordinator position. So Durante Jones, the latest to be interviewed by LSU football. We'll take our last break of the show. We'll finish it up like we do every single day with Ask Us, brought to you by Cold Coors Light. That, when we come back here, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
We're also brought to you by Tiger Air. You can find them online at tiger-air.com. You can give them a call at 225-754-8687. You can call them for that free quote that we tell you about, right? You've got something going on, or if you're looking into replacing your system, they will come out, and it is a free service to you. So take full advantage of that. We always tell you to take full advantage as well of the Comfort Assurance Protection Plan. This is something that is going to save you money. It's going to save you money on your utility bills. Your equipment life is going to last longer, right? You're not going to shock the system because, as we know here in South Louisiana, right, you might have the heater on last night. You're going to have the air conditioner blaring this morning, and you might change it again tonight, right? So don't shock your system. Make sure that it can handle that movement because of the weather conditions we have here in South Louisiana. Remember, emergency and priority service are at a discounted rate if you're part of that program. Again, tiger-air.com, or call them today, 225-754-8687.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Choose your fighter. Dax. With antioxidant vitamin C.
Given the choice, why wouldn't you choose the one with antioxidant vitamin C? Choose Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door.
Coming up on Tuesdays Off the Bench, Coach O stops by to give you the latest in the LSU defensive coordinator search, football school, and getting ready for second signing day. Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football, and a brand new OTB mailbag. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, time for Ask Us, brought to you by Cold Coors Light. Don't forget about that Blue Moonlight Sky Vizzy Hard Seltzer as well. Make sure whatever game you're watching, whatever fishing trip you're on, that you've got a Cold Coors Light or golf course.
Yeah, works out there.
Works out there as well that you're on. Make sure that you make it a
Birdie
good one.
fuel, swing lube.
What Hunt said. All right, Ask Us. Were you in Cub Scouts and or Boy Scouts?
I was not. I went to an Indian Guides meeting. My dad took me to it, and I asked him when we were going to play sports, and he said, that's not what we do here. And I was like, well, I don't really want to go then.
Okay.
Not for me.
Ask Us. National Opposite Day. What is something you plan to happen and the exact opposite occurred?
What?
LSU winning the 2011 national championship. Planned on that happening after the way the season was going. And the opposite occurred.
Yeah,
they did not win, and it was not a good game.
I planned on shooting 75 on Saturday, and I shot 82. It's bad.
Tampa won in spite of Brady. Willie, you're my guy, but Tom was the reason, one of the reasons, big reasons they were there. They were not a playoff team a year ago. I realized he didn't have the best game, but you don't not make the postseason and then make the Super Bowl and not realize what the difference was there. Ask us, where's the strangest place you've ever been? West Texas.
The strangest place
West
I've
Texas.
ever been?
West Texas, man, you get out there, the sun goes down, you look around, there's not another light in sight. You just,
I've never been to West Texas. I've been places that strange. I guess Morgantown, West Virginia is kind of strange.
There you go. Favorite Girl Scout cookies?
Tagalongs?
Thin Mints. Kate, Paul, y'all got an answer on this? Best Girl Scout cookie?
I'm going to go Thin Mints, but I heard they made a French toast cookie this year.
Okay.
Trying out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth trying out. Paul?
I don't know the name of it, but I like the ones with have the lemon flavor.
Okay, so lemon flavored. Don't know the name of them.
I don't know either.
What are the ones that have the chocolate just on the bottom?
I know like some of the names. I just don't know what they are. Do-si-dos, Tagalongs, Thin Mints. I can't think of it anymore.
All right. Ask us, favorite snack food. I've got a snack that nobody else likes. I love animal crackers. I'm 35 years old, and I love animal crackers.
Cheddar and sour cream Ruffles.
I bet your breath smells great after a handful of those puppies.
Not worried about it.
Cade, you got one?
My go-to as a kid coming home from school was always chips and salsa.
Ooh, yeah. My 9-year-old, that's his go-to when he gets home from school. Paulie?
I'm going Little Debbie.
All right, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Ask us, are you able to read all the chat posts during the show? Now, they're kind of hard. Kind of hard to keep up with. This format is a little different than the huddle that we used to have. The font's not as big, and then when you go to look at one, they kind of scroll up on you, and then you lose your place really quick. And so I try to get to as many as I can, but it's a little more difficult.
You do a great job.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Samoa's is another very popular Girl Scout cookie. Yes. All right, see, like right now they just scrolled. What's your favorite bowl game to go to?
The Independence Bowl.
What bowl gave the best swag? Independence Bowl. Never went to the Indy Bowl, although we thought about it in 2005, but we decided to go to the Peach Bowl. I'm not the best person to ask this to because I went to back-to-back games in the Superdome, which is like my favorite place to play a football game, and we got great stuff, and one was the national championship. So I'm a little biased to the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, but I also really enjoyed the Capital One Bowl because we were in Orlando, and obviously Disney's there, and we wore our bowl stuff that had the Capital One patch, and we had convinced almost every Disney employee that if you played in the bowl game, you got to skip to the front of every ride line, and they bought it. We had like lanyards that didn't mean anything, but they thought they meant something.
Ooh.
So we were able to not go fast pass, but like literally skip every line, go straight to the front of the line, and we almost did Disney like in one night.
Nice job.
We were just going ride after
Cheat
ride.
the system. I like it.
Yeah, I'll let you know who the mastermind behind that was.
Flynn.
Yes. Ask us, boiled shrimp or crabs?
Shrimp.
Both. I mean, I'm going to probably go shrimp, but I like both. Ask us, who is your dream sponsor? This isn't cliche. Y'all know me. It's Coors Light. I mean, it's like to me, like when that happened, I wish you would have had a camera on me that day. I was a little excited. Ask us.
Hungry Howie's.
Oh, hungry Howie's. Go ahead.
Oh.
You had the polo on.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I'm sure they got great specials going on.
Yeah, they got a
there
mix
now.
and match deal that rocks. You can get for $5.99 each. You can get any two of these: medium one topping pizza, regular Howie bread, Pepsi 4-pack, any regular oven baked sub, regular salad, cookie, 8 original, or 10 boneless wings. Any two of those, $5.99 each. Good deal, mix and match. Hungry Howie's.
Which SEC coach do you see winning his first national championship next?
Dan Mullen.
First national championship, Kirby Smart. Dan can't get out of his own way sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah, but he's a good coach.
He's
gonna
a
have
very
players.
good in-game coach. Now, some of the things that he does before and after the game, I still think he has a long way to go.
Yeah.
In-game coach, I think you're exactly right. I think he makes great adjustments, unless your star corner throws a shoe 20 yards down the field.
Not going to help the cause.
Although it was a football move in Dan's mind.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to do it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same people. See you then.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online